Welcome back to Good Morning, LaLa. Our greatest wealth is our connection to Source, that's for sure. And so here's spiritual teacher and leader, Vanessa Petronelli is in the house. She is a channeler, she's a speaker, teacher, all the above. How are you?
I am doing great. It's awesome to be here with all three of you.
Will you please explain to the audience what it means to be a channel?
Channel. So we are all channels in our own way.
Yes.
It just depends on the type of thing that we're channeling and the modality. So I believe that when we have this connection to Source, to God, to the universe, and we train ourselves to be able to bring that energy and that guidance through, we have the ability to channel through higher consciousness wisdom. So doing the channeling work that I do, it's more in an intuitive way, the psychic way, the trance channeling way, where I'm inviting these higher consciousness energies to come through, so I'm able to support people in their ascension and their awakening, and really ultimately becoming more empowered in the authority that they are.
Do you just feel like it's your higher self, or do you feel like it's a dualistic thing?
I can channel through my higher self, and that was for the majority of my career, that's what I was doing. And then the Palladian guides came through, which are more of a galactic connection that I have, and they've been channeled by many other channels. So I'm not the only one on the planet doing this type of work. They came through, and it's been absolutely incredible to bring through their wisdom because they have so much love and care and connection for us.
So I've got to ask, if you are getting messages from galactic beings, what are these messages? What are they telling you? And is it a language you understand?
It is, absolutely. So it really is helping to empower people to know who they really are, to access their essence, the truth of their being, to know that we are from love, we come from love. And what's going to help to really shift the consciousness on the planet is through the shift in consciousness and through our vibration. So some of the messages, they'll talk about money, they'll talk about the survival systems. Just in the last month, I had an event. I do channeling events, and I do a lot of private channeling work and channeling galleries in people's homes. And the message that's been coming through is it's time to break the paradigm of being in survival and lack. But the way that they bring it through, the message is one thing, and it'll come through in English, but it's the vibration and the frequency behind the words that are working on your whole being, that are working on the subtle energies in your body, in your field, and penetrating deep into your consciousness. It's fascinating work. It's difficult to talk about because it's one of those things that you really have to experience.
So interesting. I think the first sort of channel that I discovered in my life was Abraham Hicks.
Yes,
right?
exactly. Yes.
And I remember having sort of feeling challenged about it all. I didn't understand how it worked, and it didn't sort of align with my Christian upbringing, and so it was confusing. And I remember Jerry Hicks saying, "Judge a tree by its fruit." So if you don't need to understand how it all works, just understand the message and see if it resonates with you deep inside.
I love that.
Right? Yeah.
Yes, it is all about resonance. And for some people, I realize that this is not something that is going to work for them. It's going to resonate for them. And for others who are really ready for it and they're open-minded, it has the ability to completely transform somebody's life.
Yeah.
And
How's it transformed your life?
Oh my gosh. It has basically accelerated everything. So I've been on this personal development and spiritual journey my entire life. I was an intuitive as a child. I was in the entertainment industry. I thought that was my channeling message at the time. And for the last 11 years, I've been doing this work. I've been devoted to my development. You know, it's an ongoing process and training. But when the trance channeling started a few years ago versus just the higher self channeling and channeling other people's higher selves, everything shifted. It is, I like to describe it, it's about precision and impeccability. It causes you to go into a higher level of integrity. It increases the frequency so much in your body that my nervous system at times has been overloaded with the energy. So it's really about working to bring these higher consciousness energies into the body, but for the body to be able to integrate it and be here on Earth. So I know it's so woo-woo and out there and all these things.
I actually, as a doctor of divinity, I truly believe that it's our higher self. It's our conscious, it's our cosmic consciousness. And I think that there's a little bit of a trick because I think people go, oh, you're channeling these aliens. It's like foreign because it's really not alien. It's your higher self. And I truly believe that. And I honor it. Like Abraham Hicks came out later. She said, it's not Abraham. It's just my higher self. And so I think it is important for us to know that consciousness is all spectrums, all integrated in multi-universes all over the place. That's still our consciousness, though.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Whether we're streaming something from that, where we're from galactically or cosmically, it's higher self, it's source. I mean, we're bringing this energy through, and it's practical. That's the thing. Most people don't think that it's practical, but it is. And I believe that it's the shift in our consciousness that's really going to make the positive changes on the planet.
So please break down this practicalness to this massive shift
Yes.
that is happening.
Yeah.
So the practicality is, I think, there's been this stereotype about spirituality. I think we're starting to see some changes in that it's not something that we can practically utilize in our lives. That it's something where we're floating out of our bodies, where we're simply meditating all day and, I don't want to become more spiritual or more developed in this way because I have to pay bills.
I've got work to do.
I got work to do, exactly. And so what I think is my own superpower, I guess, or the gift that I have is being the bridge, is being able to be here because the future of where spirituality, and I say that in quotations because it is not a thing you do, it's who we are. It is meant to be grounded here on the planet. Floating out of our body, being out here, just simply taking messages and not implementing it, what good is that on the planet?
Totally.
Yeah.
Right? We need inspired action. We need to be here on the earth to be able to make these changes.
Yeah, try being a good person.
So if somebody out
you,
there,
Vanessa.
and I assume that most people feel this way, want to channel money and they want to get that money out of the ether
yes.
and into their bank account, what would you encourage them to do? How could they?
You can use me
begin
as
that
an
process?
example.
That's just, again, a yes girl, and she is willing to receive here.
Yes. I'll let
Here's
you know
what I
how it goes.
always say to people. I think we're so focused on this manifestation. I'm going to manifest money. It's just going to magically appear. The grounded way to look at it, what are the containers? Where is the money going to land?
Her bank
In
account.
a 6
Right?
foot blonde
She's got a bank account.
And
I think she's got the rounding number.
I also believe too that it is about the level of how much love we have for ourselves. One of my mentors said to me years ago, when we have problems with money, there's only 3 reasons why. We don't love ourselves fully, we don't love the people that are in our lives, our loved ones, or we don't have a level of love for helping humanity in the world. And somewhere in there, if we're really honest with ourselves, and I'm not saying this about you, I'm not making any assumptions or presuming anything, but we have to be really honest because sometimes we're in cycles where we're not feeling as confident or we're having a hard time loving the people in our lives and adding value and service to the world. And most of the time, especially for a lot of spiritual people, they don't have the practical containers and they're maybe not always willing to take the inspired action to make it happen because they look at it like, I have to hustle or I have to work hard. I just want to be and surrender. And I mean, that was the problem, I think, personally, with some of the work around the law of attraction. Of
course.
And The Secret, it's such a beautiful tool, but it wasn't utilized correctly and entirely. So, I would look at some of these pieces and just look at where can you allow yourself to really, truly love more of yourself, others, and the world.
And we could have this conversation on it because we love this conversation.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time. So
I know.
Please tell people where they can work and follow you.
Absolutely. You can find me on Instagram and on Facebook. So Instagram, it's Vanessa Petronelli, and on Facebook, it's V Petronelli.
So great. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Stay
It's
tuned, we'll be
wonderful
back.
chat.